Hi everyone, and welcome to Jenna's Tiny Tales. Are you ready to climb a tall tower? Today's adventure is Hansel and Gretel. Once upon a time, at a forest's edge, lived a poor woodcutter with his wife and two children, Hansel and Gretel. They had very little food, often no bread for supper. One night, the worrying woodcutter sighed to his wife, "What will become of us? How can we feed our poor children with nothing left? Tomorrow morning, we'll take the children deep into the forest. We'll build a fire, give them each bread, and leave them. Perhaps someone kind will find them." "No, wife," the man said. "I could never leave my children alone in the woods." "You worry too much," she replied. "If we don't, we'll all have nothing. This way, someone with more might help them." The children weren't asleep. They were too hungry and heard every word. Gretel cried, "What will we do?" "Shh, Gretel," Hansel comforted her. "Don't worry. I'll find a way to keep us safe." When the grown-ups slept, Hansel got up, put on his coat, and crept outside. The moon shone, and white pebbles sparkled. Hansel filled his pocket with them and tiptoed back inside. "Don't be afraid, dear sister," he whispered. "Go to sleep. We won't be alone." He lay down, his heart brave. Before sunrise, the man left for market. The woman woke the children. "Get up. We're going to the forest for wood." She gave them each a tiny piece of bread. "Here's lunch. Don't eat it too soon. We have no more." Gretel tucked her bread under her apron. Hansel's pockets were full of stones. They set off. As they walked, Hansel kept looking back at the house. "Hansel," the stepmother said, "what are you looking at?" "Oh," Hansel replied, "I'm looking at my little white cat on the roof waving goodbye." "Silly child," she said, "that's not your cat. It's the sun on the chimney." But Hansel wasn't looking at a cat. Each time he turned, he dropped a pebble on the path. They reached the heart of the forest. "Gather wood, children," said the woman. "I'll build a fire so you're not chilly." Hansel and Gretel collected sticks. Soon the fire crackled. "Rest by the fire," said the woman. "I'm going deeper for wood. I'll come back for you." Hansel and Gretel sat by the fire. At midday, they ate their bread. They waited until their eyes grew heavy, and they fell asleep. They woke to a dark forest. Gretel cried, "How will we find our way home?" "Wait," Hansel whispered. "When the moon rises, I'll find the way." When the moon rose, Hansel took Gretel's hand. The pebbles he dropped shone, showing the way. All night they followed the trail. At dawn they reached their house. They knocked. The woman saw them, surprised. "Why did you sleep so long in the woods?" "We were worried." But their father hugged them, filled with joy. Soon trouble returned. There was hardly any food. The children heard their stepmother whisper to their father, "We have little food, just half a loaf. What will we do? Perhaps if we take them deeper into the forest, someone kind will find them." The father sighed. "It's better to share what little we have." But the woman insisted, "I must try again. Perhaps they'll find better fortune." "No, wife," the man said. The children, awake, heard everything. When the parents slept, Hansel tried to get pebbles, but the door was locked. Still, Hansel comforted Gretel. "Don't cry, dear sister. Sleep. Help will come." Early the next morning after the father left, the woman woke them and gave them each a tiny piece of bread, smaller than before. On the way, Hansel crumbled his bread and dropped bits on the ground. "Hansel, why are you stopping?" asked the woman. "I'm looking at my little dove on the roof," said Hansel. "It's saying goodbye." "Oh, Hansel," said the woman,
"That's not a dove. It's the sun on the chimney." But Hansel continued dropping crumbs. This time the woman led them deeper into the forest, farther than ever. They built a fire. "Sit and rest, children," the woman said. "I'll go collect wood, and then we'll come back for you." At noon, Gretel shared her bread with Hansel, as his was scattered. They fell asleep. Evening came, and darkness settled. No one came. They woke in the night, alone. "Wait, Gretel," Hansel whispered. "When the moon rises, we'll follow the breadcrumbs home." But when the moon appeared, not a crumb was left. The birds had eaten every bit. "We'll find our way," Hansel said. But they didn't. They walked all night and all the next day, but couldn't find home. They were empty, eating only a few berries. Too tired to walk, they lay beneath a tree and fell asleep. It was the third morning. They walked again, wandering deeper, if help didn't come soon. Just then they saw a snow-white bird singing on a branch. The song was lovely. When it finished, the bird flew ahead. The children followed it until they reached a little house. The bird perched on its roof. As they neared, their eyes widened. The house was built of bread, its roof was cake, and its windows sparkled like sugar. "Let's have a treat," said Hansel. "I'll try the roof." "Gretel, taste the window." Hansel broke off a piece of cake. Gretel nibbled the sugar window. Just then a voice called from inside, "Nibble, nibble, little mouse." "Who's nibbling at my little house?" The children answered, "The wind." The wind, that playful child. They kept tasting, unafraid. Hansel broke off another chunk of roof. Gretel popped out a whole sugar pane, sat, and munched. The door opened. An old woman stepped out, leaning on a cane, her face wrinkled and hair gray. Hansel and Gretel were surprised, but the old woman smiled. "Oh, my dear children, come inside. You've nothing to fear." She led them by the hand into her home. Inside, she gave them a delicious meal: milk, pancakes with sugar, apples, and nuts. Afterward, she prepared 2 soft beds. Hansel and Gretel snuggled in, feeling safe. But this woman wasn't kind. She was a witch who kept children. She built the candy house to attract them, keep them for chores, and never let them go home. The next morning before they woke, she was up. She took Hansel and placed him in a small room with a sturdy door. Hansel called out, but couldn't escape. Then she woke Gretel. "Wake up! Fetch water and cook for your brother. He must grow strong, for I have plans for him." Gretel was worried, but did what the witch asked. The witch fed Hansel delicious meals. Gretel only got dry bread. Each morning the woman would say, "Hansel, show me your finger so I can see if you're stronger." But Hansel was clever and held out a little stick. The old woman couldn't see well and thought Hansel wasn't growing. After days, the witch grew impatient. "Gretel," she said, "bring water. Tomorrow we'll prepare a feast, whether Hansel is ready or not." Poor Gretel sobbed as she carried the bucket. "Dear God, please help us," she whispered. "Help us go home." "Enough crying," said the witch. "It won't help you." Early the next morning the witch called, "Gretel, wake up. Light the fire, hang the kettle." She rubbed her hands. "First we'll bake. I've heated the oven and prepared the dough." She led Gretel to the oven. "Climb inside," the witch ordered, "and see if it's warm enough for bread." But clever Gretel guessed the witch's trick. "I'm not sure how to climb in," she said. "Could you show me?" "Silly child," grumbled the witch. "It's easy. Even I could fit." She leaned forward. Quick as a flash, Gretel gave her a push. The witch stumbled inside. Gretel closed the oven door and latched it. "Oh dear!" the witch cried. "Let me out." But Gretel ran to the small room, opened the door, and cried, "Hansel, we're safe. We can go home." Hansel sprang out like a bird. They laughed, hugged, and jumped with excitement. Now safe, they explored the witch's house. In every corner, boxes sparkled with pearls and gems. "Prettier than pebbles," Hansel smiled, filling his pockets. "I'll take some too," Gretel agreed, filling her apron. "Now, let's leave this forest," said Hansel. They walked for hours to a wide stream. "How can we cross?" asked Hansel. "No bridge." "Look," Gretel pointed, "a friendly duck." She called, "Duckling, duckling." "Here stand Hansel and Gretel. No bridge, no track. Please carry us on your back." The duck paddled to them. Hansel climbed on. "Join me, Gretel." "No," said Gretel, "we're too heavy." "Let it take us one at a time." The kind duck carried them across, first Hansel, then Gretel. On the far shore they kept walking. The woods looked familiar. At last, in the evening light, they saw their father's house. They ran, burst through the door, and hugged their father. He cried tears of joy. He had missed them. The stepmother was gone, never to return. Gretel opened her apron. Sparkling jewels tumbled out. Hansel added handfuls of gems. From that day they never worried again. They lived happily ever after, their home filled with laughter and joy. And so Hansel and Gretel got home using courage, kindness, and clever thinking. They taught us that even when things seem scary, bravery and teamwork guide us to happiness. Remember, no matter how deep the forest, kindness, courage, and friendship will lead us back to the light.
Thanks for watching Enna's Tiny Tales Stories. If you had fun with us today, please show your support and subscribe so we can bring you many more tales to come. See you in the next story.